What's up, everybody? For those of you who have been following us for a little while, you're probably thinking one of two things. One, either Brody just got a little more handsome, or two, Tiangam just got a lot taller. That's not the case. My name is Zach. I am the third Sew Yeah brother. If you don't know who I am, that is a clear sign that you are missing out on our Tuesday night Newstash or our Saturday night Destash. Okay, these are two events that happen every Tuesday night and Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our project today. Today we are doing the double zipper bed runner. It could be a table runner if you make it a little smaller, or if you make it a little wider, it makes a really nice accent to your bed. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. We are going to be using a single jelly roll and a 1/4 yard of accent fabric. For this one we're using a white accent, and we've used the Celestial Lights jelly roll by Benartex. For our project today, we're going to use, again, a 1/4 yard of white as our accent, and then we're going to be using the Zelie Ann jelly roll by Benartex. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on that. All right, so for this project, we've got our background fabric, or excuse me, our accent fabric, which we're going to be cutting into 2.5 inch squares. And then here we've got our jelly roll broken up, and we're going to be cutting an 8.5 and a 10.5 strip, 8.5 inch and 10.5 strip out of each strip in the jelly roll. So we're going to go ahead and get this laid out. I'm just going to take off our salvage edge and then cut this down into our 2.5 inch squares, which we're then going to be putting in between all of our jelly roll strips. Okay, so just nip that off, and now we're going to go to our squares. Now we're going to move into our jelly roll. So like I said, we're going to take each strip in the jelly roll, we're going to cut it into an 8.5 inch piece and a 10.5 inch piece. This one was actually made a little bit smaller, so you'll see a little bit of a size difference at the end. I'll show that to you. But really, there's some room for flexibility depending on the size of your bed or the size of the project you'd like to do. Or if you want to shrink it down and do like a table runner, for example. So we'll go ahead and put this, get these laid out. You can just take your salvages off. There you go. All right, so laid my fabric out. We're going to cut this at, again, we're going to do an 8.5 first, and then a 10.5. There's our 8s. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the other strips in our jelly roll. Okay, so that's all there is to it to get us prepped for sewing this thing together. As you can see, there's very little waste with this project, and again, if you want to adjust the size, you can take that down to 0. So we'll go ahead and get started on our sewing. Here are 8.5s, our 10.5s, and our 2.5 inch accent pieces. What you want to do is take an 8.5 inch piece, and then sew your accent piece to the end of it, and then take your 10.5 inch piece and sew that onto the other side of your accent. So for this one here, you can see here, we got our long piece, our accent, and our short piece. For this one, we use the same color on both sides. But for the project I'm doing right now, we're going to do it scrappy and just do one of the 8.5 inch and the other one of the 10.5 inch, and then vice versa. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. Take our 8, our accent, and you're going to put these right sides together. And again, we're going to do 1/4 inch seam allowance on all of this. Okay, just like that. And we'll take our 10.5, and again, right sides together. All right, so now you should have something that looks like this. Okay, short on one side, long on the other, accent piece in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and sew up the rest of these, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now we've got all these pieces sewn out. What you're gonna do is, all you gotta do to make this pattern is just take these pieces and turn it so it's, I guess, turn it every other one, and then it'll make this zigzag, like checkerboard type pattern, which you see along here. All right, now I've got these iron, I'm gonna sew these together and sew the rest of my strips, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we've got our strips sewn together. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to clip this strip to this strip, and then sew that down the long edge. I'm gonna be using Wonder clips. Again, if you haven't seen these, again, you're not watching the Newstash and the Destash. There's another shameless plug for that. Please join us Tuesday and Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm gonna go ahead and clip these together, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now I've got this clipped together, I'm going to go ahead and sew it up, and we'll be right back. Alright, I've got this finished. It's looking great. I'm going to take this over to our in-house long armor and have it quilted. Let us know which version you like better. We have links to both kits in the description below, as well as a link to the pattern. If you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel, and please share it with your friends. Once again, my name is Zach, teaching you how to sew like a pro. We'll see you next week on Sew Yeah Quilting.